guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a foundation review and today I'm testing out the ELF Camo Hydrating CC Cream. So I am a big fan of the original ELF Camo CC Cream. I love it. This is my second bottle that I've gone through and I have a backup in my drawers. This is the ELF Camo CC Cream, colour correcting, full coverage, natural finish, SPF 30 in the shade Fair 120. So I love this one. I also have a paler shade. I have Fair 100, which I haven't tried yet, but I think it would be a better shade match. But I love this one. So I thought I would try the hydrating version because I haven't tried this one yet. And this is in the shade Fair 100, the paler shade, because this is slightly, just a tad too dark. If I've got my hair up, it's just a tad too dark. So yeah, this is the ELF Camo Hydrating CC Cream, full coverage, long lasting, dewy finish, SPF 30 in the shade Fair 100. So I'm going to be doing a normal foundation review like I usually do on my channel with this. I want to test it out, see if it's any better than this one or as good as. I do have very dry skin, but to be fair, this looks perfect on my skin. I have no issues with this at all. So I'm hoping that the hydrating one isn't going to be too greasy and still looks just as nice as this one. So we'll see. So yeah, let's just get started. Okay, so I'm going to start by using this L'Oreal Revitalift Hydrating Smoothing Serum just as a little bit of a moisturizer slash primer. And I'm going to blend that out with my ELF Stippling brush. So while that's drying in, I'm just comparing the two. So I think that they're both very similar. This just says it has a natural finish and this just says it has a dewy finish. I'm going to set my face with powder anyway, but I do have dry skin, so I'm hoping this will help. But again, I don't want it to look greasy and slip and slide throughout the day, you know. Normally with foundation reviews, I don't put any primers on. I just put like a moisturizer on or a primer water type thing because I like to see how they perform by themselves. And I don't put any setting sprays on either because I like to see how they perform naturally. So yeah, let's go in with this. I am debating whether to use a brush or a sponge. I think I might try a little bit of both. I think I'll do the brush first and then I'll try a sponge. So this is the ELF Ultimate Blending Brush and then the sponge is just a Shein. It's a sponge from Shein. It was £1. It's really good. So yeah, this is in the shade 100 Fair. So I've never tried this shade before. Like I said, this one is 120, which is okay. But if my hair is tied up, you can see the difference. So I just thought maybe I'd try a shade lighter. So let's give it a go. I do think that it could be a bit too light. We'll see. But this could be something that I could mix with this one anyway. Personally, I prefer the finish of a sponge, but I kind of wanted to get some of the coverage of a brush. So I'm doing that first and then maybe I'll go over the top of it with a sponge. Okay, so I'm going to go in with another layer. I did 1.5 pumps. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit more just to build up some of the coverage. And I'm going in with a sponge just because I prefer how it looks with a sponge. Okay, so I'm just going to chat to you a little bit while I'm continuing to blend because I spend a long time blending. I actually really like it. I feel like the colour is slightly pale, but in the winter time, I think it will be bang on, to be honest. Maybe I'll just keep this as my summer shade, the Fair 120, and I'll use the Fair 100 for the winter because I do struggle to find, well, I actually really like it because I do struggle to find a foundation with an SPF in that's pale enough, believe it or not. So this is, so that's really cool. I really like that. And to be honest, I think the colour's okay. It is looking white on camera. It's actually looking better in person. It's looking a lot more white on camera. I am going through a bit of a skin issue at the moment around my T-zone, so my nose and my forehead in the middle, but there, this part is very, very dry. I don't know why. I've been struggling with it for quite a while now. What I will say is I don't feel like this is as good coverage as the other one. I feel like this original one is more full coverage. I wore this foundation a few days ago and I had the same like issue with the redness around my cheeks and it covered it, but this isn't covering it that well. I can still see it peeking through, so I'm not sure. I still like it though. I really do like it. There's nothing I dislike about it. I actually like the finish. I like the colour. So yeah, so far so good. I'm actually going to be testing this out for the first time as well. This concealer by ELF. It's the ELF Hydrating Camo Concealer. I had the original Camo Concealer in a way too pale shade, so I ended up throwing it in the bin. So I can't remember if I like that or not, but this is the hydrating version and it's in the shade Fair Rose. Oh my gosh, that's so small, it's hard to see. I've heard mixed reviews about this. Some people say it's nice and hydrating. Some people say it's creasy and breaks apart, so we'll see. Oh, it might be a bit too dark. So I'm going to blend this in with a brush first, then go over the top of it with a sponge. So this is the Real Techniques contour brush. Okay, so I've just started with powder. My thoughts. It actually looks better with powder. It looks more of a warm colour. So I think that's bang on, to be honest. That's the exact same colour as my neck. That's bang on. So this is definitely my shade. Amazing. So the colour match is perfect. I really like the finish on my skin. I know I've just set it with powder, but I like the way it's looking on my skin. It's not matte, it's not super overly dewy, it's nice satin, I would say. But obviously I've set it with powder just because that's what I always do. So I actually really like the foundation. Like I said though, I don't think it's as full coverage as the original one. I still think I prefer the original one at the moment, but this is a very close second. I think if it just had that touch extra full coverageness, it would be perfect. The concealer, I really like it so far. It's nice and full, I'd say medium to full coverage, not super full coverage because you can still see some of my bags under my eyes, but it is slightly creasing, so I did read somewhere that it does crease. I really like both products. Again, ELF, super affordable. I think this is like £10 and this is like £7 or £8. Really, really affordable. I love anything by ELF, to be honest. It's a really good brand. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to finish up the rest of my makeup off camera and then I'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay guys, so I'm back with my full face of makeup. This is how we are looking. I'm really liking the foundation, I've got to be honest. I've looked again by the window in natural daylight. It looks really nice. I've got to say though, I am struggling with a lot of dry skin in my T-zone, so it is looking dry. But like I said, it's down to my skin, it's not down to the foundation. I think the foundation is very good. I just need to exfoliate more regularly and just apply constant moisture because my skin is really struggling at the moment. I looked at the concealer though and it's not enough coverage for me. Like, it's a nice concealer, I just wish it had more coverage. Maybe I should have done a second coat. Because I can see like the bags under my eyes. So it's okay, the concealer, like it's average, but there's nothing special about it. It's not creasing as much as I thought it would, so that's good. But the foundation I really do like. Not as much as the original. I love the original, but I like this. So we'll see how it performs throughout the day. So what I'm going to do now, like normal with my foundation reviews, I'll keep the foundation over 2 hours, then 6 hours, then 8 hours, and check in with you throughout the day at those points to see how my skin is looking, to see my final thoughts on the foundation. So those are the check-in points throughout the day. So far as the first impressions, it's very good. I am liking it, but we will see how it performs throughout the day. So I'll see you in 2 hours time and we'll see how it's looking then. So see you then. Okay guys, it's actually been 2 hours since I first put on the foundation. And honestly, not really much change. There never really is after 2 hours. It pretty much looks the same. as it did before. Like I said, I'm really struggling with the dryness in this area, but it is down to my skin, not the foundation. So far we're still looking really good. I will check back in now in another 4 hours time, which will be 6 hours of wearing the foundation, and we'll see how it's looking then. So see you then. Okay guys, so it's been 6 hours now, just over, wearing the foundation, and I just had a look in my mirror and it is looking slightly like cakey around my nose. The area where I said that it looked dry is starting to build up now and just look a little bit cakey. But to be honest, it's hardly noticeable. You've really got to look up close to notice it. So it's not a big deal. And like I said, it's the skin, not really the foundation, and you can barely notice it. So far, still so good. I'm going to keep it on another 2 hours and we'll see how it's looking then. So I'll see you then. Okay guys, it's been 7.5 hours and I'm calling it a day since I first put on the foundation, and I just checked in the mirror and there's not that much change since the last check-in, which was an hour and a half ago. I do think though that the foundation is not hydrating. I wouldn't call it hydrating because I'm not dewy. Like even when I first applied it, the finish wasn't dewy. It was just a normal natural finish. So I wouldn't call it hydrating at all. And I actually think it's drying up my skin slightly. So it's not hydrating. Put a nice heavy duty moisturizer on and a nice hydrating primer on underneath, and I think you'll be perfect. But for me personally, I still just prefer the original ELF Camo CC Cream. I just think that's better than this one. There's nothing wrong with it. I like it, but I would personally just repurchase the original one. I prefer it. I think it's better in my opinion, but it doesn't mean I don't like this foundation. I just prefer the original. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. Okay guys, so that completes this video. This was my review of the ELF Camo Hydrating CC Cream and a little bit of a review of the ELF Hydrating Camo Concealer too. I hope that you liked this video and I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you're not already so you can see all my other videos. And thank you so much for watching guys, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!